Helena. Helena. It's not Helena, guys. But it is one of the most friendly and eclectic cities in Montana. But what makes it so special? Let's find out. There's just something special about the city. There's so much to see, so much history packed into the streets and buildings that it's simply impossible to see it all in one day. To even sample the beginning, where do I begin? I need a guide. I need someone that knows the city like the back of their hand. Someone yes, I need a guide like this.
My name is Lee Holmes, and I operate and manage the Last Chance Tour train in Helena, Montana. It's a non-profit organization hosted by what's called Helena Unlimited, but the organization itself does not belong to the state. It's a non-profit private organization. We have 2 trains and a trolley, actually, but the 2 trains are converted towing units. This particular one we're standing right now was an 86 1.5 ton truck. We bought just the chassis and then we skinned it over with what you see. Our smaller train, which is called our traditional train, also is towed by our 2010 Jeep Wrangler. And that was recently built. That's our new one, our 3rd generation engine on the little tour train. So the cars on the little train were built in 1954 and then had been upgraded throughout the years. This one, of course, in '89. And I was on board when these were built. I had a part of the design and the manufacture in them, and have really enjoyed that part of the managing the organization. Coming up on the left is our Capitol building. It is of neoclassic design, has been constructed of native sandstone from Columbus, Montana. The dome on top is of Montana copper. The statue on top of that...
Admittedly, I haven't experienced many other Capitol buildings in person, but I must say, this one has some remarkable architecture and artwork. So many stories hidden in the walls and craftsmanship embedded and hammered into every corner. It's a place where you just mindfully explore the building and appreciate not only how it was constructed, but what has taken place to shape Montana into the beautiful place we call home today. One of my favorite idiosyncrasies about Helena is a diverse variety of prodigious shops and small businesses. Recently I strolled into Barnes Jewelry and met a couple of really nice gentlemen that were more than welcoming to me and my family of Squatches.
I'm Marvin Hunt. I bought the store in '91 from Mr. Barnes. I'm called a horologist. I've been a horologist for 40 years.
And I'm called a rookie horologist. Horology is the study of time. My name is Stacy Henry. I have moved into the jewelry part of the business. Been studying horology for about the last 20 years and have moved into the jewelry part of the business.
Marvin and Stacy have quite the collection of not only clocks and jewelry, but yesteryear toys and electronics. Looking around at the eccentric collection, it elicits a tidal wave of childhood memories. Some of these items, although familiar, reach beyond my era into 1 or 2 generations before my time.
Auntie passed away. I'm thinking this was 1920.
A lot of these items have their own stories, some of them quite personal and some of them quite relatable.
And then we have that into a pocket in there.
And Marvin and Stacy certainly don't forget about the children with their own curiosities. Their store is more than accommodating for little squatches of all ages. Be sure to stop by and talk to these two fine gentlemen. I promise you'll walk out more enlightened than when you went in.
Coming up on the right, the St. Helena Cathedral. As we go around the front, notice the space between the two crosses. I want to tell you a story about that space. It was the first Special Service Force. These were paratroopers and pilots that trained at Fort Harrison, fought in foreign wars. A few years ago, they're having a reunion. Like many reunions go, one of the pilots had a little too much to drink. He took a $100 bet. He could fly his airplane right between the two crosses.
A beacon on the horizon, these towers still brand the cityscape with their majestic and ornate design. The bells ring out every hour and remind us of its revered past. From the outside, you can still hear the organist practice for mass or special events. And from the inside, well, take a look for yourself. If you're looking for authentic and practical made-in-Montana souvenirs, then JMacs Pottery will be on your list of shops to visit. His shop, like many others in this town, comes with its own special story of how it was founded.
Jeremy McFarlane, I own JMacs Pottery. We make pottery for everyday use and make it to where you would want to use it yourself rather than it be on a shelf. And these are £1.50. I got into pottery through high school, did it for 3 years, then stopped for about 10 years, and actually had to have an accident, which my hips had to be replaced twice in order for me to get back into pottery, and it kind of cured everything. It was good therapy, and then started selling my work at farmers markets and events, and then eventually wound up owning a store. We started making a mug with Montana on the front, and it had either a heart or a 406, and people just gravitated towards it. It's almost to the point where we can't keep up. So there are two interesting things about the store. One would be the classes. The other unique thing about the store is that we try to promote other artists that don't necessarily know how to market their stuff.
Jeremy's story of true grit, determination, and passion is an allegory that we can all appreciate. Each of his creations hold a piece of that inspiration. And when I left, I had that feeling that no matter what life throws at me, there's always a way to triumph.
Coming up on the left, I want to see if you can find this on the side of the building. It's on the corner. At the top of the two windows in between the arch is a circle. Inside that circle is the thumbprint of the owner of the building. Samuel D. Hauser was the man. That was his bank in the early days.
Hauser founded First National Bank of Helena in 1866 and later in life served as governor of Montana Territory. Yes, this was just a few years before Montana became an official state in 1889. And as you can imagine, Hauser was a well-known and respected businessman. Hausers Mansion still stands to this day, nestled in the quiet neighborhood streets of Helena. This was a popular house back in the day. So popular, in fact, it still attracts some of the most legendary of guests. The Parrot is infamous to Helena locals and actually well beyond. It's been a Helena staple for nearly 100 years, and during that time, many of the signature recipes and timeless atmosphere have remained true to their roots. We were able to get a sneak peek of how some of their delicious delicacies were made.
All our centers are made here in the store. We do like cinnamon bears, we do gummy bears in chocolate. We do molding. We have bears that we do. Then we have our actual parrot medallion. Some of the creams, like a milk maple, will be an M. A coffee cream will be a C. Huckleberry, it's kind of hard to do an H. So we just do a little squiggle on that one.
Thank you for the insight, Parrot. We'll be seeing you soon on a return pilgrimage later this year. What a beautiful day to tour the town, to glean some of this copious history and visit some of the finest people that make the town what it is today. The city truly is a gem fit to be the capital of our celebrated Montana state. Thank you, Helena, for always welcoming us and surprising us with new and informative history. We're not done. No. We've only tapped into a small part of what makes this town great. But we'll save this continuing story for your personal exploration. So get out there and enjoy a historical city tucked away deep in the heart of beautiful Montana. If you enjoyed this film, be sure to comment below and let us know what you think. We have more adventures coming your way. And as always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon.